Welcome to Telly Talk, where we talk about what's on the telly, and by that we mean what's on our minds, because we're Telly. I'm Tyler, and today it's the start of my movie month on our channel, because we like talking about movies and we wanted to talk about our favorite movies. So this month, what month is it? July?
July.
This month is Tyler Movie Month. We're going to be talking about movies that are like my type in movies. They're not necessarily my favorite movies, right? We're not watching my favorite movies, because if we were, we'd be watching How to Train Your Dragon right now. What we're watching is like the type of movies that I typically like, which is kind of...
You like boy movies.
I like boy movies. I like movies. We've talked about this when we watch Swing Kids, right? If you go back and watch our Swing Kids podcast, Swing Kids should really be this month. I like movies where it's like a group of boys hanging out and are a little bit gay, but not really, kind of. And they're like being dramatic. And then I also like rom-coms. So that's the vibe this month. What else are we watching this month? Let me check. It's Dead Poet Society. Then we're watching No Hard Feelings, Perks of Being a Wallflower. And we're doing Good Boys, which I've never seen. I've never seen Good Boys. But I just look at it and
What is Good Boys?
And I was like, it's a boy movie. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, this is a Tyler movie. There's some boys hanging out.
Oh, it's that children's movie. Do you know that one of the actors tried to go see his own movie and they wouldn't let him because it's rated R? And he's like, I'm in the movie. And they're like, you can't see it. You're not 18.
That's
and
genuinely so funny.
They didn't
Tell me
believe
that.
him.
Oh my god, they're too young to be in their own movie. That's hilarious.
Didn't he go to his own premiere, though? Like, he would watch the movie at the premiere, so I don't know why. I don't know.
I want to know who their parents are to let them be in a rated R movie.
Fun parents.
Right? We're off track here. But Dead Poet Society actually is one of my favorite movies. I think it's the only movie this month that's like, is actually one of my favorite movies and not just like my vibe of movies. Have you seen Dead Poet Society before?
Yes. Like twice.
Cool. I watched it for the first time with my family when I was like maybe 17 years old. Because I'd been wanting to watch it, and my family likes to watch movies together, so I was like, I have a movie we can watch. But the thing is, I didn't know how it ended. Hey viewer, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it and then come back, because the ending is a lot, and I don't want to spoil it for you, because you just need to witness it, right?
Didn't watch the ending.
Of course not. It ends after the play, right? And he's happy and it's all good.
Sure. I stopped where it was happy, you know.
That's how you do it.
That's
but I was watching with my parents, and this movie came out like in the 90s, right? And they hadn't seen it in quite a long time. They wanted to watch it, like they'd seen it before. It's a Robin Williams movie, and he's like one of my favorite actors ever. He's like one of my dads. Like, I have a collection of middle-aged men actors who are my father, and Robin Williams is one of them. I see Robin Williams on screen, and I'm just so comforted, and I'm like, this is my dad. Everything's okay. And so my family also likes Robin Williams. So we were watching it, and we get close to the ending of the movie, and my mom looks at my dad and then looks at me and went, I forgot about this part. And I'm like, you forgot about what part? Because, okay, spoiler time. At the end of the movie, the main character, Neil, commits suicide, right? And
who's Neil?
Up until... What?
Who's Neil?
The main character?
The actor?
The one with the...
I don't know who you're talking about. Who is... There's like two main characters in this movie.
Oh my god, you're right. Okay. Neil is the one with the brown hair
Not
whose
Ethan
father...
Hawke?
Not Ethan Hawke.
The other guy. His roommate.
The other one, the one he's gay with. The one Ethan Hawke is gay with. Okay. Did you watch the movie?
I didn't watch the ending.
Alright. Have you ever seen the ending?
Yes.
Okay.
I just don't remember it.
Neil is like the most main character in my opinion. But there are a couple of them.
Oh, I thought Ethan Hawke was the main character.
Todd?
Yes.
He is one of the main characters. But I feel like he has a main plot, but I feel like he's just a tiny bit less main plot than Neil.
Okay, I see that.
Anyway, so right until the point where he like literally we find him dead with a gun, the first time I watched this, I wasn't following, right? He opened his window after being like, I'm trapped, I don't want to be here, and I was like, okay, so he's gonna run away from home. I was convinced he was gonna run away from home. And then he got something from his dad's room, and I'm like, yeah, he's getting some money so he can run away from home. Like, I was not following that this man was about to kill himself. I was not there. Until it was incredibly obvious, and my mom just looks at me and is like, oh no, because I have like PTSD related to suicide, and I'm just watching this movie and then I'm like, oh, and that was such an interesting time for me.
Yeah, that sucks.
No, it was fine. I really do enjoy this movie. It is very comforting to me until the end,
You
of
know
course.
what? I feel like if you watch Iron Claw is a good boy movie for you. Like, I feel like you're gonna love Iron Claw.
I should watch Iron Claw.
You can explain the plot briefly.
Alright, Dead Poet Society is a movie from the 90s that takes place in like 1960. And it is at a boys' boarding school, like really professional, smart, rich kid type of thing. Like everyone who goes there is going to become a lawyer. And he has brown hair. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Neil. He is like a really good student, but his dad's really controlling, and he discovers over the course of the year that he wants to be an actor, and his dad's like, no, you can't be an actor. I'm skipping ahead. He gets a new roommate named Todd, who just started coming to the school, and Todd's really, really quiet and shy. And then they get a teacher who's Robin Williams, named Mr. Keating, and this is like a really, really strict school, and they do like a montage showing you how boring and formal it is, which is really good world building. And it's one of the things I like about this movie so much is they have a lot of scenes that are not much plot, but they really build the atmosphere in the world. And a lot of movies these days cut things like that out for the sake of like saving time. And this movie just keeps in so many not super important scenes that just let you really experience the atmosphere and like feel in the movie. And that's one of the things I really, really like about it. And so Mr. Keating is a very different teacher than all the other teachers there, because he wants these teenage boys to be like free thinkers and to like feel love and life and beauty and happiness, and like his whole thing is carpe diem, which means seize the day. And he like teaches the boys to value poetry and to stand up for what they believe in, and like come out of their shell and do what makes them happy and like just live their lives to the fullest. And so the group of boys, including Neil and Todd, who have a little kind of gay thing going on that's like not very subtle. It's like this whole movie's a metaphor for being gay, right? This should be a Pride Month movie. I think this should be a Pride Month movie. Exactly. They formed the Dead Poet Society, which was something that their teacher had been in when he was at their school, and they like gather in a cave and they read poetry and they like grow as people. And then as they're growing as people, Neil is like, I want to be an actor, and he does a play and he's really, really good at it, but his dad's like, fuck you, you can't be an actor, I'm going to send you off to military school because you can't obey me. And Neil's like, god damn it, I'm going to waste 10 years of my life trapped and unhappy, I might as well just die. And then he dies, and then Todd throws up because he's so sad his boyfriend is dead. And then they fire Mr. Keating because they're like, this is all Mr. Keating's fault. And then Todd finally learns to be brave, and he stands on his desk at the end of the movie to show Mr. Keating that he taught him to see the world from a new perspective.
When they first went to their first meeting in the cave, the first time I watched it, I thought they were in like a side of a tree trunk.
A tree trunk?
A big tree.
No, it kind of looks like that, doesn't it?
I know a fun fact about this movie. Connecting this to Pride Month.
Yeah, so connecting this to Pride Month.
So bringing back, this is a throwback to our first Pride Month episode, where I talked about celebrities that are rumored to be gay, and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, when they were young teens. They were besties, and um, they had a joint
That's kind of
bank
cute.
account together, and they saved up money to go to New York and audition for this movie together, but they ended up not going, and I forget why.
I like how big of a deal this movie was then. Like,
What?
everyone I just think it's cool that people wanted to go and audition for this movie, like multiple famous people.
Yeah, they were auditioning for the main two characters, and I feel like
Wow.
that would have changed their life if they did.
The two main characters, Neil and Todd, they're roommates. They are shown to have a much closer relationship than any of the other boys in the movie. Like, their relationship is very emotional.
Yeah.
They kind of just flirt sometimes. Like, there's that whole scene where Todd is like, Neil, you're not my mom. Like, you don't have to take care of me. I can take care of myself. And Neil's just like, no. And
No.
Todd's like, what? And Neil's like, no, I'm taking care of you. And then he like grabs his thing and like runs away with his poem, and Todd's chasing him, and Neil's like, oh my god, I'm being chased by Walt Whitman, which is cool because Walt Whitman is a gay man, a famous gay poet.
Oh, he was.
So that's, yes, this movie
Didn't know
had
that.
a lot of, this movie like had a big theme on Walt Whitman. They talked about Walt Whitman a lot in this movie, and he is
Yeah.
gay. And I think that that's an important detail.
I didn't know he was gay.
Yeah, and that's kind of flirty, and there's the whole part where Todd is like freestyling a poem with Mr. Keating at the front of the class, and it's really good, and Neil is just looking at him like completely awestruck, like hearts in his eyes. Did you see that scene?
Yes. It was cute.
Like, was he not just like in love with him?
Oh, absolutely.
They have a scene where it's Todd's birthday, and he's sad because his parents don't really care about him, just gave him the same thing as they did the year before, and Neil helps him feel better.
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Me
he's
too,
like-
it's so cute.
He's like, this desk set wants to fly.
It's rather
Neil knows.
aerodynamic. No, it's so
They
cute, and
just
then
chuck
they
it
feel
off.
better.
I do have a critique about that scene. The foley sucked. The
You would
sound
notice
effects
that.
that they did when the desk set hit the ground was way too long,
Not
and it
good?
was just
Damn.
it was bad.
You should follow this movie.
I could.
When Neil dies, Todd, like all the other boys are crying, but Todd, like, runs into the wilderness and pukes. Like, he is
Yeah.
distraught and in denial. And also, the whole arc with, like, Neil... Hi, my dog is whining. The whole arc with Neil wanting to like be himself but feeling controlled by his father, and like wanting to be an actor. Theater is a very queer coded thing for men to do, and like finally feeling free to be himself, especially with a teacher that helps him feel like he's okay to be himself. And then his father like sending him to military school, and then him killing himself because he feels trapped. That whole thing is like a very queer coded storyline, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then like blaming it on the teacher, that reminds me a lot of like things going on right now with teachers where they're like, you're making my kid gay, and the teacher's like, no, I'm just letting him be himself, and then they like fire the teacher. That's still relevant today.
You're creating free
I actually-
thinkers, and I don't like that.
I actually wrote a paper on this movie my freshman year of college because I had to write a paper on a movie that was like about teachers, and this movie's about teachers, and I wrote a paper on how Mr. Keating has a very different like style of teaching than the other teachers in this movie, which is like really important, and that was really cool. Oh my god, I love Carpe Diem. I think that that's a cool vibe. That's like such cool shit. But the scene where Mr. Keating is telling the boys about Carpe Diem for the first time, and he's like, one day you're all gonna die, the shot lingers on Neil in that scene, and I think that's really cool foreshadowing that it's showing him when it's like, you're all gonna die, because then he dies.
Interesting.
I know. Do you have any thoughts on this movie?
I'm guessing you asked me for my thoughts on the movie, but I couldn't.
Wait, that
tell.
is word for word what I said.
Okay, great. I watched this video essay on the movie. Like, it was very brief. And it was how this guy watched this movie, and he wrote an essay on it, but he focused on the imagery. And I like hadn't noticed it any time I've watched this movie, but he said that whenever Robin Williams' character is like teaching or is just like around, there's light around him. You see light, and he's sharing the light of knowledge, because when you in the beginning of the movie, when all the boys are going through their classes, there's like you can't see any light, and they're all bored, and they're all like, I hate this teacher, and all the teachers are strict and very formal in their learning. Then you get to Mr. Keaton's class, and you immediately see like the lights on the ceiling, and he walks in, and he's like very bright and happy, and he like
He's
waddles around the
whistling.
room, and everyone's like, what's happening, this is weird. And then he shares his informal learning. He brings the light into them. Part where they were like, Robin Williams was like eating dinner, and he was talking to that other guy, that other teacher. He's like,
Yeah.
you're a cynic, and he's like, I'm not a cynic, I'm a realist. And he's like, I'm just creating free thinkers, like I'm just creating bright
And the other guy's
people.
like free
And
thinkers at the age of 17.
yeah, and he's like, you can't have free thinkers at 17. And I'm like, well, how are you gonna like do what you want to do if you waited so long to become a free thinker and realize that you wanted to do so many things? Oh, he's gone. No, he's back. The environment was giving very much like Midwestern fall, like fall in the Midwest, with like the geese
I think
and like the chill.
I think it was supposed to
the
be.
chilly.
I think it was because we know it all happened first semester, right? The end of the movie, like it's snowing at the end, and it signifies that it's winter break soon. So all of this happened in fall semester of the school year, and it was.
Yeah.
My guess is it was in the Northeast because that's where a lot of like fancy colleges are. But I just kind of made that
Yeah.
up, so it could be in the Midwest.
Well, like this movie made me miss like the Midwest fall, because it was like the movie. I could feel the crispy cold air in the movie.
Especially
Like I was
with how
watching it, and I'm like, I need this so bad. And the geese honking, I was like, it's Halloween. I'm going to a pumpkin farm, and I'm going to I'm gonna go through a
Oh my
corn
God.
maze and ride a hay ride, and I'm all the orange leaves. I'm like, I need this right now.
I was gonna say, with how old the building was and with how old the school appeared to be, I'm guessing it's the Northeast because that was like the first thing schools established in America.
Yeah.
But one of the things I like about this movie is it reminds me of like the Marauders in Harry Potter. It has very similar vibes, almost the same time period, and it's just like a group of guys hanging out at a boarding school, and it has that like academic aesthetic to it. So I like edits where they kind of connect scenes from this movie to the Marauders. That makes me happy because those are two things I really enjoy.
Yeah.
I feel like I've said so many things. I'm just really excited. I'm talking fast. I feel every time I watch this movie, I forget certain things about it. Like I forgot that the principal like spanks uh what's his name? Charlie?
No idea.
Nuwanda. He's also very queer coded. Everyone headcanons him as bisexual. He very obviously likes women, but he's also likes to embrace a more feminine side by like
Why
wearing
did he? Oh
lipstick
yeah,
and
why
stuff.
did he call himself Nuwanda?
I think he was trying to have an exotic feminine name, and it does not come across correct for a white boy to call himself Nuwanda today. But
No.
I think he is a white boy in 1960 and is trying to find an exotic feminine side to him.
Interesting.
Um,
Interesting.
but I forget that the principal like spanks him, like that as a punishment. That was crazy. I totally forgot that. It actually connects to
that's just a
novitiate, the
thing.
really like old
Yeah.
style punishment. Oh my god.
That's a thing
I-
that just happened in the 60s, because my dad went to a private high school, a private Christian high school, and he got
crazy.
beaten with a paddle. Like, you would be taken out in the hall and like beaten with a paddle, and you could also get like slapped in the face.
Wow. That's crazy. it was kind of a plot point, was like we should have girls at Welton, and that was something that Charlie was really big on, which is cool. But another thing I forget when I watch about this movie is how big of a plot point Knox is with his crush on a girl. Like, I forget how much screen time Knox takes up with his
Yeah, that's crazy.
pursuing his girl. Like, because it's not as important to me as Neil and Todd. Like, Neil and Todd are the stars for me, and Robin Williams. And I forget how important of a character Knox is in the film. And every time I watch it, I think that he does something much more inappropriate at the party with the girl. Like, he kisses her on the forehead while she's passed out drunk. And that is not appropriate. That's not okay. But I always misremember it, and I think he, like, actually kisses her, like, on the lips. And that is a much worse thing to do than what he actually did. And I'm always like, oh my god, Knox, you're such a bad person. And then I watch, and I'm like, oh, that was tamer than I remembered.
Yeah. I thought him and Nawanda were the same person, so I was like kind of confused.
That's
'Cause they
funny.
look similar.
At the beginning of the movie, when Todd is writing "Seize the Day" in his notebook, he had like just showered and was ready for bed, and he like brushed his hair back instead of having it at the front like he normally does, and he looks like Neil with
Yeah,
the
that
low
was
lighting.
weird.
And I thought that was weird that he just looked like Neil for some reason in that scene.
I I don't know why, but when I was watching this movie, I remembered that like I guess this was a false memory or something that I just made up, but for some reason I was like thinking that Todd like couldn't read for some reason. Like that was just a thing he didn't know how to do, and that's why he was hiding from
No,
everyone.
he's just very scared of public speaking.
Yeah, but like for some reason I was like ready to watch this, and I was like, oh yeah, he can't read, and I'm like, what?
Why would he
Yes,
be at like
can.
such
How
a
would he get into the
prestigious
school without being able to read?
Right? That's funny. I forgot how long the montage at the beginning of the movie before like anything happens was. Like I was watching this and it starts with like some random people taking a picture together at the beginning of the school year, and I was like, am I watching the right movie? I totally forgot about the beginning scene.
Yeah.
Oh, the end of the movie is kind of jarring because it feels like it should end pretty soon after Neil kills himself, but then there's actually a while where they're like, this is all Keating's fault, and like Charlie punches the like really Cameron, like there were two gingers, and I didn't like that there were two gingers because what are the odds of that? And also, sometimes I mix them up, but now I realize one has glasses, and that's how I can tell them apart.
I
But they're
can't
both
wait to
nerdy.
hear what you say when I edit this because I can't hear.
Did
I'll
you
be
just
like,
hear
wow,
me say
those are some-
gingers?
Those are some good opinions. There's some good things you're talking about.
No, that's funny. Gingers. Anyway, Charlie punches Cameron and then gets kicked out, and they're gonna like kick
Yeah.
everyone else out if they don't sign the paper. And it's like a long series of things happen, and you see Todd's parents are kind of controlling too, like Neil's, and they just also don't care about him. And it ends in a way where it's like, wait, this is the ending. Like it's a very powerful build up, and then it's just over. And basically, throughout the semester, Mr. Keating had taught the boys that if you stand on a table, you can see the world in a different perspective. He also had the boys call him "Oh Captain, My Captain," which is like a Walt Whitman poem.
About
And-
the gayest Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, as we established in our other Pride Month video,
Yep.
is bisexual.
Yep.
You should go check out Gay Founding Fathers.
Yeah.
Bisexual
all the
Abraham Lincoln, so
Pride
another
Month
gay
videos
hint.
are gonna be in the description.
Perfect, because we're hitting all of them here.
Really.
Right, so at the end of the movie, Todd, who has been very scared of public speaking this whole time, stands on his desk and defies like the really strict principal man and is like, "Oh Captain, my Captain," and then all the other half of the boys do, and half of the boys are like too scared to defy the authority. And the reason that's so significant is I feel like Todd was faced with the realization that this is the last time he will ever get to see Mr. Keating, who has made such an impact on his life. And not only does he want to really quickly tell him that it's not his fault that he's getting fired because they made him sign it, but I feel like he wants to somehow say everything to him about how important of an impact he had on him. So he stands on his desk and gets his attention in a way that's kind of showing him like, you taught me to see the world from a different perspective. and like that's that was just really powerful.
Yeah.
He was like able to say so much in such few words with his actions. What?
Whenever I watch movies like this that are like strong, I always like develop their mindset, and whenever like I watch this movie and I'm like, I want to go read Walt Whitman and poetry, and I want to go write.
Oh yeah, I watched this
stuff.
movie and I'm like, I'm gonna get Carpe Diem tattooed on my body.
Yeah, and I do this with other movies too. Like I'll watch like I watched like Little Women for the first time, the Greta Gerwig one in a theater,
Yeah.
and after it I like drove around and I'm like, I'm an 1800s teenage girl, and I want to write and I want to read books, and I love being a woman, and I'm like, I'm a woman. And I was like, wait a minute. And then like a week later I was like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Why I was like, that movie
And
did
right
something
now
to
I'm
me.
like, I'm gonna go into a cave and read poems.
Yeah.
Like that is my mental state right now.
Yeah. Sometimes movies
That's
that
what this
are
movie
just
does
like
to you.
really strong just
I like the
really
bagpipes
put you
at the
in
end of the
mindset.
movie. Like, it's kind of a theme throughout the whole movie, and then the bagpipes end the movie on like this really powerful note, and it's really cool.
Oh yeah, there was that one. There's also bagpipes just in the middle of the movie. On that
Yeah, I think
crisp
it
fall
creates like a
morning.
callback. I heard,
Yeah.
you know how he's playing bagpipes on the lake? I heard there's a deleted scene where Neil and Todd sit like on the edge of the lake and practice Neil's lines for his play together.
Oh my god.
Isn't that cute?
Why didn't they put that in there?
I know! I know I
Well,
said that I liked that they didn't cut things for time, but if they needed to cut a scene to put that in there, I'm all for it.
yeah.
Wow, that was a fast podcast for something I was so excited about. All my thoughts are so emotion based that I don't have
Yeah.
words for them. Very
Me too.
powerful, moving movie. You just go watch it and you feel emotions. What would you rate this movie?
I would rate it a 4.6 out of 5.
That's a high rating for you. I
Yeah.
am going to do something I haven't done in a hot minute. I'm going to give it 5 stars.
Wow, 5 out of 5.
Last year, when we would watch movies, I would give high ratings a lot because we kept
Yeah.
watching movies that I really liked, and then
Yeah.
we've stopped watching movies I really liked and just started watching normal movies. And I've also have tried to like not give things as high of a rating as I was doing at the beginning there. What else did I give 5 stars? I feel like I gave Barbie 5 stars and
I have no idea.
Across the Spider-Verse. I'm giving this 5 stars. Now, who is your favorite character?
I like Robin Williams, and I like
Oh, of course.
Todd.
You would be a Todd kind of guy. You don't talk either.
I'm Todd.
On the flip side, I am Neil. Now people are going to ship us even more. I like Mr. Keating a lot, very fatherly, very comforting. And then I like Kin Neil. Like, I want to be Neil. I feel Neil in my bones, and I want to present myself the way Neil does, but I'm not going to kill myself.
I wish I could be Neil, but I'm a Todd. Ain't that all of us, though?
Don't worry, I'll be your Neil.
No, we can't. We can't. We can't. We have to fight
Happy
the
Pride
allegations.
Month. While you're here, subscribe for more Tyler Month movies, and also go check out our Pride movies. They're all linked in the description.
Yeah, for the next week, and then they'll
For
be
the next
gone,
week.
never again. But the playlist will still be there. You can still watch them.
Bye.